Hey, how's it going? And today I'm going to show you how to create a simple timer that keeps a running total. It can be triggered to come on or off, however you want it in your game. And it just looks something like this if I hit start. All we have in the scene is a verse device and our verse code, a head message device, which you can't see, and then this button. So when I hit the button, the timer starts and essentially goes every second. And it'll just keep going and going forever. And then if I want to stop it, I just hit E and then it stops. And then if I want to start it again, I just hit E and it starts up again. And then if I want to stop it, I just press the button. And that's it. It's pretty cool. So if we jump into Unreal Editor, you can see there's my head message device, there's the verse device and the button device, and those are both paired to the verse device. On the HUD device, you can adjust where it appears. I just have it on top center, and then there's no message in here, and then I also turn off show for duration, so it just stays on the screen. And that's pretty much all the settings you need for that. The rest of this is in the code. So let's take a look at that. So we've got our modules, and I'm calling this recursive timer device. We have a variable called count. It's an integer, and we set it to 0. Then we have our two devices, our HUD message device and our button device, both at editable. Then we have a Boolean, and we set that to logic and set that to false. And then we have a message type that we use to display our integer. So I just call it display number. It has a localizer specifier. And here this is called string interpolation and allows us to bring in another data type into our message type. So we're bringing in an integer and nothing else. So on begins play, we reference my HUD and we show it. Then we have my button interacted with event, and we have 3 functions or methods that we've created. So the first one is a switch, and that's the one the button is tied to. And this is essentially a toggle switch. So it toggles off and on each time the button is pressed. So if it comes in false, we set it to true. And then we spawn out here to recursive caller. And this function just keeps calling itself. So if the Boolean is true, then it goes to sleep for a second. I just put in a print string so we know the flow of the program. It calls the counter down here, which also requires a suspense. And we set the counter, increment the count by 1, and then we set the text calling our display number message type down here as well. And so it's pretty straightforward. And then if you press the button again, it reverses to false. So if it's not false, it's true. It comes in true here. We set it to false, and then we have to spawn out here to call our recursive caller. And if the Boolean is set to false, it jumps to else, and it just stops. So that's it. It's fairly straightforward. It's not too complicated, but I wanted to show that you could build a timer using a recursive function call here. So it essentially creates a loop. When you create a recursive function call, it sets its own loop essentially. And so it has a lot of application when you do this. So anyway, that's all I had for today. I hope you found it helpful. Take care, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.